Hello, this is Jack Barker, former CEO of Pied Piper. You're welcome. I was thrilled, I was flattered when Dan Moore, the head of Fusion Auth, which specializes in multi-factor authentication, asked me if I had any opinion on account security and multi-factor authentication. The short answer, yes. Now the long answer. First of all, Dan, I raise a toast to you and to Fusion Auth because the battleground of the future is going to be in multi-factor authentication. The success, the survival of the computer is going to depend on account security. And I should mention something about my toasts. This is something I wrote about, well, I am currently writing my book. It's called Jack Barker, The Action Jack Barker Story by Jack Barker, coming out Simon & Schuster this fall, $16.95 in paperback. I mentioned that I never toast in good times because good times bring their own champagne. I only toast in the difficult times, in the dangerous times. And that is where we are living now, Dan. And to all the programmers who may be listening to this, multi-factor authentication is where our fate will lie. And I'm going to have a toast later, but this is just for me now. That wasn't the toast. I learned everything I needed to learn about computers when I was in a world literature class in 10th grade. I was 15 years old. And there was an idea that came from Epicurus, through René Descartes, through Sigmund Freud. And it was simply this. And it's the whole secret of computers and multi-factor authentication. This is it. Human beings rush toward pleasure and they run away from pain. That's it. I'd like to use graphics as a way of explaining, so I came up with a little something which I call the conjoined triangles of getting ripped, reamed, and dry cleaned. This is where we begin here. As human beings, we love. We love many things, which is good, as long as cocaine is not on that list. But I listed here a few things we love. We love money. We love bank accounts. We love shopping on Amazon. And we love our families and our pets. We love things as human beings. And that comes up to here, and then we protect what we love. We protect what we love with different things, like guns, that's a good thing, locks, banks, bank accounts, and life insurance. We do insurance. Now, the problem is when the ways of protection become too painful, we run away from those things. Now, one of the ways we ran away from pain, from all of the ways we protect what we love, was digitizing our protection. That's when we moved to the computers. Here's a brief history of the personal computer as far as I know. Back in the early 70s, computers were only used by computer programmers to write programs and for regular people to waste their time. Then that changed in the early 80s to programmers writing programs, people wasting time, and people writing screenplays, which basically was still a waste of time. There was no such thing as online banking. There was no such thing as online cash transactions. That did not exist. And the hackers were on us from the beginning. Right at this point, we were using things called passwords that were password, or the infamous 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Most of our passwords revolved around our living children or our dead pets. Once we got to the digitizing of our information, where everything is on the internet, our lives, our safety, our security is there are now hackers that are, of course, using algorithms and robots, finding variations of combinations of our living children or dead pets. They will break into our back. So if we do not use MFA, multi-factor authentication, we get to the hypotenuse of the triangle and we will be ripped, reamed, and dry cleaned. This is what you are fighting for, Dan. And this is the toast I give to you. It is a pleasure that you have asked me to talk today. And it is a pleasure when I see you fighting on the front lines for multi-factor authentication and the improvement you've just thrown out there with Fusion Auth. I toast you and that advancement. And please, it will be a pain if we have to go back to writing screenplays. Thank you. A toast to you, sir, and to all you're fighting for. Oh, yeah.